Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. If you can't tell by the thumbnail and by the title, we are doing a first impression and like swatches of the new Harry Potter collection with Sheglam. So you guys are like, okay, why does she have two eyeshadow looks? That's because I tried the Hufflepuff palette and the Slytherin palette as a part of this collection to see how they performed and how I liked the way that they performed. And I'm going to be doing two more looks in this video so you guys can see how Gryffindor and Ravenclaw do perform as well. But the intro to this video is Slytherin and Hufflepuff. I have with me the entire Harry Potter collection from Sheglam. Now, it did come in a PR box, and the PR box was actually sold out, so I wasn't able to purchase the PR box, but I was able to purchase each thing individually. If you purchase it on Shein's website, you can actually use some of their coupons, and it's also available on sheglam.com. With sheglam.com, though, you have to keep in mind you can't use the coupons. So you'll end up paying more on sheglam.com than what you would at Shein. I do have a first impression, like looking at the palette and giving you my first initial thoughts on this collection when I didn't physically have it in my hands. That is up on my channel if you guys want to go check that out. But I had noticed like Sheglam had no swatches, they had no review videos besides like some basic ones where people were just looking at the collection. They didn't actually physically have it in their hands. And I was like, I want to pick it up because I love Harry Potter and nobody is talking about it. So I was like, okay, let's talk about it. Let's do some swatches. Let's do some try on. Let's see how this performs. Now, I do have on my channel a full face of Sheglam, and I've actually raved about some of their eyeshadow palettes before. Like, I love my Sunset palette from Sheglam, and it's so beautiful. One of my favorites. But today we're going to be talking about this collection. Specifically, the Sheglam collection does come with four shade eyeshadow palettes that are all themed after the houses of Harry Potter, the houses of Hogwarts. So in the 4 shade eyeshadows, you can buy these individually or you can buy them together. If you buy them together, you do get this really cool limited edition like sorting hat / envelope to Hogwarts packaging, and I love, love, love the little sorting hat. And you can actually just rotate it and choose your house if you want to. It is a magnetic closure, and then you open it up, and inside reveals the eyeshadow palettes. But this is what the inside looks like when you do purchase all 4 of the eyeshadow palettes. You get Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff. And each color story is curated for each of the Hogwarts houses. Sheglam Harry Potter Hogwarts Houses palette set retails as a set for $19.99. So you can buy each palette individually, and I believe it was like $4.99 per palette. But buying the whole set together, you're able to buy all of the houses, get the cute little packaging for $20. Next, there is the Bewitching Brews Potions Lip Gloss set. This is 4 potion lip glosses that are also themed. It comes in this cute little book, and you open it up, and it's literally like a potions book on one side, and it says, "Caution, the gloss will cause a powerful infatuation or even obsession for anyone who wears it." And it also describes each individual lip gloss that you get as well. So you do have Felix Felicis, which is a gold undertone, gold sparkly lip gloss. And you have Polyjuice Potion. This is a green themed lip gloss, and it has some micro glitters of green. Then you have Amortensia, which is a like pinkish lip gloss. And then you have Draught of Living Death, which is a purple lip gloss. You can get the Bewitching Brews Potions lip gloss set for $15.99 on the Sheglam site. I don't believe you can buy these individually, but look at the packaging. Like, that is just so cool. And then also in this set, you get the Sheglam Harry Potter Herboligist Glitter Lip Gloss lipstick. I already put this on already, so sorry guys, sorry to spoil it. And this is a Herbologist lip gloss that is like, it said it is a glassy black finish with micro glitter flecks in it. So I have a swatch on the back of my hand. You can't really see like the glitter at all, but you can see like it has a black undertone to it. And it does have some micro glitters like on the outside of the lip gloss, but in the swatch you can't actually see any of the micro glitter, so I think it's just like decoration. The packaging is super cute. It's very like herbologist themed. It does say Harry Potter Sheglam on it, and it comes in this cute little box with a mandrake on it. This retails for $4.99. And one last thing in the collection is the Sheglam Magic Cauldron Lip Mask. So it comes with a cute little spoon, and then you also get the magic lip mask, and this also like it looks like a honey pot, and it reminds me of the ColourPop honey pot, not to joke around. And it is like pink inside, and it's an overnight lip mask. Like the packaging on this lip mask is super cute. Actually, the packaging on the entire collection is just adorable. The lip mask also retails for $4.99. So the entire collection you can purchase from Sheglam, and you can use a coupon and save some money. These are all cruelty-free products. They have been advertising lately that they have like safe and non-harmful ingredients, which is great to hear. These are made in China, but the brand is really pushing the fact that the ingredients that they use in their products are safe. The grand whopping total of the collection is about $45.96, but if you use a Shein coupon, you can save some money. Let's take a look at each one of these individual house palettes, and then let's take a look at the lip glosses, lip potions, and then we will get into the tutorial for these two eyeshadow looks that I have. Here we have the Gryffindor themed eyeshadow palette. Look at the like quality of packaging on this. I really feel like they stepped up their game. It is embossed, it's embezzled. Like this right here is just so beautiful. You open it and you also get like the Harry Potter like checkered print. It feels almost like distressed, like a book cover as well. I did notice that as well. And you open it up and you get the Gryffindor color story, which is a red and gold color story. It's typical of a Gryffindor color story. In this eyeshadow palette, there's 3 mattes and 1 shimmer, and it makes up 4 shades for the Gryffindor palette. You can see it's like really neutral, but it has that pop of red. It is pretty. It did swatch well. The mattes, I want to note, were really pigmented, and they were like one swipe glide on. They were a little soft in pan though, so keep that in mind. So here is the Slytherin eyeshadow palette. It has the same type of theme as Gryffindor with the embossing, the beautiful Slytherin crest, and then you open it up and it has a green eyeshadow color story inside. I did use this for my eyeshadow look on my left eye, so if you see the green, that's what is on my eye today. I used all 4 colors, and it is 2 mattes, 2 shimmers. To note, the silver formula feels very wet, almost like a cream consistency, and the green foil formula is almost like gritty. See on my arm here, I do now have the Slytherin swatches. It is from the silver, which is like almost an eyeshadow topper, very silvery and very cream feeling. Then you have that like emerald green shade, which I was really surprised that it was like that emeraldy. Like I said, it feels like it has micro glitter in it or something. It's just really weird. Then you have a matte like olive green and a really dark, really dark green. Those two I found were a little bit hard to blend out on my eye. You'll see in the tutorial, but just make note of that. Now here is Ravenclaw, again with the same consistency and packaging, embossing, the house crest. You open it up inside, it's blue for Ravenclaw. The color story is a little bit of a neutral thrown in there, and then you have those 2 pops of blue. It is really, there are 2 like foily shimmery shades and 2 matte shades. So let's swatch these for you. So we have Ravenclaw on my arm. I'm running out of room, but I wanted to show you guys that first matte shade next. The first matte shade in the Ravenclaw is very neutral. It is called Wisdom, and it almost matches my skin tone. Then we have the iridescent like white color. This has almost like a blue shift to it. Then we have a foily blue shade. That one is also a micro glitter, and it felt kind of weird and texturized in like in the pan and on my finger, very much like the green one from Slytherin. And then the last shade is Creativity, which is that matte, deep, dark navy blue shade. That one's really pretty as well. Sorry, I swatched it with my pinky, so it's a little bit off. But overall, like, this is the color story that you're seeing so far with the Harry Potter collection. Super pretty, like if you think of it as a 16-pan palette. Not a lot of repeat shades in here. It does have, you know, cool tone, warm tone. Now let's swatch Hufflepuff. Let's show you what Hufflepuff is about. So this is the other eyeshadow palette that is on my eyes today. It's Hufflepuff. Same packaging. You have the embossing and it's themed yellow with the Hufflepuff crest. Then you open it up and it is this beautiful, warm, neutral color story, and it has a pop of like orangey yellow in it. Really pretty. Like I said, this is the one that is on my right eye, and it's so pretty. So much like the Gryffindor palette, this one only has one shimmer shade, and then it has 3 matte shades. All right, so here is the Hufflepuff color story, starting at the gold, almost peachy, undertoned, like shifty, foily shade. Really pretty on the eye. Then you have 3 mattes that are warm, orange leaning. The brown is very pigmented and very dark, and that is absolutely beautiful. But here is your entire Harry Potter collection. As you can see, like it's just got a beautiful variety of shades, and they do reflect the houses generically, but very well. You do have an assortment of shimmers and mattes in here. If you were to think of this as like a full-fledged Harry Potter 16-pan palette, this is what it would look like. We have the eyeshadow swatches. They are really pigmented. They are beautiful. And actually there's no like patchiness like on my skin. I did, like I said, I made note that like the green did kind of patch up funny on my eye, but I'm actually kind of wondering if it was the eyeshadow primer, which you'll see in the tutorial what I used for that. Now I want to swatch the potions, the Brews, and I do actually have, for the first one, it's on my lips, and it is the pink one, Amortensia. And let's swatch this one first so you guys can see. We're going to put it on the back of my hand. It is a pink, very pink tinted gloss, and it's Amortensia. Just to note, these are like spatulas. Then we have Felix Felicis. This is a golden undertone. It has like micro glitter in it. Okay, so let's just put this one on the back here. You can definitely see like the golden glitters in this. Then you have Polyjuice Potion, which is a green. This also has some like micro glitters in it. Same like spatula looking thing. And it's over here. And then last we have Draught of Living Death. This is the purple shade. And we'll just swatch this right here. This is just a purple undertone gloss. So here are all of the glasses from the Harry Potter collection. I honestly thought that when I saw this, it was going to say like the Marauders map or something. That would have been really cool as well. But I do love how this opens like a envelope and you get all the houses in there. I was like, maybe we'll use Hufflepuff today because I am wearing yellow. Honestly, I think out of all of these, I think my favorite one would have to be Slytherin because of the green color story. Just gonna go in with my Transluce Beauty eyeshadow base. We're gonna use Hufflepuff first. This is kind of, it's out of my comfort zone, but at the same time, like I do love me a good like yellow neutral undertone of a story. So we're gonna use Humidity, and this is, oh, what is this? This is like a yellow, wow, that's pigmented. Actually, I think this is like Singe Beauty yellow. Like if you could pick a singe, like a color to represent the color of these brushes, it would definitely be something really similar to this. We're doing a really blown out crease shade with the Singe EO3 and the Hufflepuff palette. The shade is called Humility, and they actually do name the shades, like, yes they do. I'm going to use my Singe EO2, and there's this really beautiful warm brown shade. This one is called Patience. Oh, that has a lot of kick up in the pan, but I'm hoping that it blends out nicely. Sometimes these pigmented mattes, like when they kick up in the pan, it means that they have a lot of pigment in them and it makes them hard to blend out. There's a little bit of fallout on my under eye, but this is super pigmented and it's packing on pretty nicely. Now I am like stamping it on and then I'm going to buff it out. Like you can definitely create like a very neutral but yellow leaning eyeshadow look with the Hufflepuff palette because this is like got some orange in it and then it also has that brown. I'm going to use a Singe EO5 and we're just going to blend these two shades together. That's really pretty. And that blended like really nicely. I just don't like the fallout that I'm getting on this side. I'm gonna take my handy dandy EO1 from Singe Beauty. We're gonna wet this down. I just used the e.l.f. Glow Dewy Mist and I wet down my brush. Trustworthy, which is the shade right here. This is a metallic yellow. Picks up really nicely. We're gonna pop this on the inner corner and like drag it into the brown shade. That's actually really pretty. So you guys can see like it created a really nice like gold eye. I'm gonna take the EO5 again and use the brown shade Patience to just like buff the gold and the brown together. I'm gonna take this orange shade and we're gonna shade the under eye with the EO4 from Singe. Really get these shades to come together. And then I'm not going to clean off the EO4, but we're going to use Hard Work, which is that very like almost skin tone shade. And we're going to shade right above the orange here. And then we're also going to take it down. I'm going to use my powder brush and wipe away the fallout here. That's a really pretty yellow neutral eye. So here is the Hufflepuff look. Hufflepuff is like really, really pretty. I like that it has this like golden color story to it, and it really feels like a super curated version of the honey palette from Urban Decay, the Naked Honey. Now we're going to do this eye, and we're going to use Slytherin. This is the all green palette. This one is the one that really speaks to me. So I just going to use my Sigma switch, clean off my brushes real quick so you guys can see this eye. We're using Slytherin. This is the all green palette. Again, this one like called to me so much. I don't know why. It totally did. We're going to use this shade first. This is like an olivey green shade and it's called Leadership. We're using my EO3 from Sin Beauty. We're going to blow this one out into the crease. Oh, wow, that's a lot of pigment. Lots of fallout though. And I am taking this color like rather high. It is looking a little bit patchy. So I am going to use the Singe EO5 and I really want to get more detailed with the green, which is the shade Destiny. Hopefully this one doesn't go on as patchy either because the other shade Leadership really did. So we're going to pack this on just the outer corner. We're going to switch to the EO2 and we're just going to try buffing this out. I'm going to use more of Leadership on the EO2 and we're just going to try like evening it all out. Ironic because like the other side just looks so pretty and it blended so easily, but this side is just not working well. I feel like that's as good as it's going to get. And I'm kind of wondering if the primer just settled funny on this side of the eye. I have noted sometimes when I use the Loose Beauty powder, it just doesn't, I don't want to blame the primer, but at the same time, I'm kind of curious because I have had problems with it before. Now we're going to use the EO1. I'm going to wet it down. I did use my Sigma switch to clean this off. We're going to use this shade right here called Cunning. This is a very like emerald foil shade. And we're going to put this like all over the lid and meet it up to, oh, that's interesting. Definitely emeraldy, but it's like way more true green than I expected. It's almost like got glitter particles in it or something. I definitely didn't expect it to be so bright green. It's going on kind of funny, so I'm going to use my finger and it feels a little scratchy. Very like, very, it almost feels wet. And that also could be because I had like, you know, the brush sprayed and it got some of it on, but it feels like sticky. Don't know if I like that. Then I just have this Cleona DF04. This is from the Dragon Fruit collection. And we're going to pick up Ambition with this brush. This is not wet. I'm just going to see how this applies like on the inner corner. And of course, like I didn't wet down this brush. It's not picking up a lot. So I am going to try my pinky finger. This one also feels kind of like cream, almost like cream wet. So let's apply. Super sparkly. Wow. Not gonna lie, I'm not very keen on the Slytherin palette, and I thought this would be like my favorite. So I am gonna take leadership on an EO4. We're gonna shade the lower lash line and also try and fix some of the patchiness, and then some of the shadows got like on my under eye because I'm using my fingers instead of a brush. Here are two eyeshadow looks so far with the Harry Potter collection. I really like Hufflepuff side. I don't like Slytherin side so much. I feel like it was really patchy going on, and it's definitely not the colors that I expected, but it is pretty. So I'm gonna pop on some mascara, put on some eyeliner, and we will be right back. Okay, here is the eyeshadow with mascara. I did use the Falsies Surreal mascara from Maybelline, just so you guys can have a reference. And then I also put on some liquid liner, and it is the Essence Lash Princess. It's the Essence Lash Princess black liner. I feel kind of weird looking in the camera and in the mirror because I have two eyes going. Two eyes. All right. Hey everyone, we're back with day two, not two, my lord. We're back with day two. I yesterday used the Hufflepuff and the Slytherin palettes, and today we're going to be using Gryffindor and Ravenclaw. Ravenclaw is the blue palette, blue, and then we have Gryffindor, which is that red and like gold palette. Today we are not using the Transluce Beauty eyeshadow primer. I feel like that may have like done something funny with the Slytherin palette yesterday. So I am just going to put a little bit of extra concealer on my lid to just kind of give it a little sticky tacky base. But other than that, I am not going to be using an eyeshadow primer at all today. Well, I have a feeling that Gryffindor is probably going to perform really well. That's my expectation. I'm not really sure about Ravenclaw. I don't like that glittery, gritty, weird formula. We're gonna do Gryffindor on my right eye today. And if I am using my Singe Beauty brushes, I always use my Sigma Switch to switch in between my brushes, spray it with some Cinema Secrets, swish it around, and then I'm able to switch colors easily if I'm using the same brushes. But today we're going to use Gryffindor, and we're going to use Daring. Let's just get right into this. This is very much like my skin tone. So I'm just going to do a really light dusting across my lid. Anybody who's super light in skin tone is going to have the same like effect with this. Next, I'm going to use Courage, and this actually has some micro glitters in it, and this is a brown shade. And I'm going to blow this out into the crease. Well, that's really pretty. It's almost like a reddish brown shade. And in the pan, it has micro glitters, but honestly, I'm not seeing it. That did blend out really nicely. I'm going to use a Cinch Beauty EO2, and we're going to use Determination, which is this shade right here. This has the Gryffindor lion stamped into it, onto my outer corner. And this is kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It almost feels like it's blending away to like a pink shade instead of a red shade. It is deepening that brown shade though, so I am going to use that brown shade, and we're going to focus it with the EO2 on the outer corner. We're not cleaning the brush at all because I want these two shades to kind of mix together. Blendability wise, these two are really, really, really like, I'm not having any patchy problems at all. And then I'm just going to take the brush and what's left on it and feather this down into my lower lash line. But I feel like the red kind of washed away a little bit. As you can see, like it's not as pigmented like right in here. I mean, it still blended out really well. It may just be one of those shades that you have to build up a little bit. And it's okay if it doesn't go on like super impactful if it's not patchy, and this isn't patchy, which is perfectly fine. And then we're going to use this shade on the inner corner. I am just going to use my finger first and see how this looks. It's almost like a glitter, like an eyeshadow topper shade more than a foil shade. Like very translucent. It doesn't really have like any kind of like color or base underneath it. So it is more of like a eyeshadow topper. Effect wise, I feel like it has like the same look as the Hufflepuff shimmer, the shade out of the Hufflepuff palette. It is a little bit more like yellow, and this one's a little bit more golden, so there's like a little bit of a difference, but on the eye you can't really tell like at all. So I'm just taking that Singe EO2 and blending everything together like so. It does blend really nicely. I'm going to take the EO4 from Singe Beauty and we're going to Feather Courage. This is like super powdery. If you don't like a lot of powder in the pan, and it does tend to be a little bit messy, you may not like that. The EO4, and we are just going to dip, we're not going to clean it off, but I am going to use a little bit of that glitter topper shade and just like stamp it / buff it into the lower lash line. It's a pretty like neutral red eye. I kind of wish that they had done like a duochrome or something that shift, or even a multi-chrome that shifted from like a red to an orange to a gold or something. That would have been really pretty. But I mean, we're dealing with a $5 eyeshadow palette, so it's not like, you know, it's going to be groundbreaking. Gryffindor eye is done. If you guys want to see what it looks like, this is the Gryffindor eye. We used all 4 shades for Gryffindor. Now we're going to use Ravenclaw on this side. This one has really pigmented blue shades in it, and I'm very... the Slytherin palette was really hard to blend out, so I'm being optimistic that like the blue is not going to be hard to blend out. I'm going to take Wisdom, which is this like when I swatched it, it was pretty much like my skin with a little bit of a cooler undertone, and I noticed that like it just pretty much you couldn't see it on my skin at all. So I'm kind of curious how it's going to show up on the eye. And it is almost like a gray undertone, super cool toned, but like you can barely see it on my eye. It's like got a little bit of a grayish undertone, so I'm going to try building this up just a little bit more. Showing up-ish, I want to say. We're going to take a EO5 from Singe Beauty and dip into the matte blue shade, which is called Creativity. Now, a lot of these shade names I think are just kind of like, this one is for Ravenclaw. Like, why didn't they use some like names from like the person who founded each house? But I'm wondering why they didn't use like the first name of some of the founders of the houses from Harry Potter. That would have been great. I guess they decided to more or less like describe what it means to be sorted into each house. And then we're going to take some of this pigmented blue down into my lash line as well. Now I am going to go back with the EO3 and just like buff this because I feel like it did cling really funny like right here. So we're going to take Wit, which is that gritty blue shade, and we're going to pop this on the lid like right in the middle. This one is actually showing up a lot better than the Slytherin. Like the Slytherin one was so hard to get to like show up on my eye. I feel like this blue one is showing up a lot better. Like I feel like this look is just really messy though. And some of the blue did get like underneath my eye too, so I'll have to clean that up as well. But yeah, the blue is definitely more pigmented than the Slytherin one. And then we're going to use this shade in here. I'm going to pop it on the inner corner, and it is like a silver shade. So almost like iridescent. And then I'm going to try blending it into the blue with my finger. And then we'll just go back over with like EO3 and blend it all together. The white though, that iridescent shade is really pretty. So I'm just going to take the EO3, blend this all. It's definitely not my cup of tea. I don't like a lot of blue eyeshadows, but I feel like this one is a little bit more pigmented with those shimmery shades than the Slytherin one. The matte shade I don't particularly like. I'm going to take the EO2 and we're just going to use that matte blue again and see if we can like build up the color right here. because it just feels so like washed out right here. So it did build up a little bit better with the EO2. I'm going to take my beauty blender and just like kind of lift some of the shades. I do like Gryffindor better. I think Gryffindor went on better. I feel like it didn't like. So here is the look with Ravenclaw. Okay, what do you guys think? Which one is your favorite so far? I'm going to put some lashes on, just mascara because I'm a basic bee and I like my mascara better than, you know, false lashes, and then we'll be right back. We have mascara on. I did use the Maybelline Falsies. This is like the purpley tubey one. I do like this mascara. And then I did use the Felix Felicis. This is the like golden sparkly lip gloss. I actually like it because you can actually see the gold sparkles in the lip gloss. It's really pretty. And I think it matches really well with like the eyeshadows that I'm like dealing with today. Now we have done 4 eyeshadow looks in this video. We have used Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, and Hufflepuff. And upon like using all of these, I would definitely have to say I think my favorite one is actually Hufflepuff. That one was really easy to use. I loved the like orangey tone that was in Hufflepuff. It's like an orangey yellow tone. I also liked the really deep, dark brown shade. I think like this palette was very like curated, and I think it is like super easy to use, and I think it's very like user friendly. Like you can create that really easy like matte yellow brown eyeshadow look, and it's very like warm. Now out of all of these palettes individually, they're very limiting. You can't create a lot of eyeshadow looks with them. It's just going to be limited to like maybe just like it's going to be very monochromatic. It's going to be very limited. I think if I were to like pair some of these together, I could come up with some more like dimensional looks. Like if you wanted to do like a green and a blue look, you would have to dip into Ravenclaw and Slytherin. These as individual palettes, they're really beautiful, but you can only create so many looks with them, and they're going to be pretty much the same across the board. If it were me, I would not buy like each individual like house palette. I would buy all 4 of them, treat it like a 16 pan eyeshadow palette, and kind of play with all the colors that are in between the houses. I would have to say my favorite eyeshadow quad is the Hufflepuff quad. My least favorite would have to be the Slytherin one, and I definitely just don't feel like that one performed very well. I feel like it was really patchy on my eye and really hard to blend out. And then the Ravenclaw one is definitely not a favorite either. I typically can use a blue, and I can wear a blue, but I really feel like it's just really limiting, especially when the like second matte shade is so light it matches my skin tone. Like nobody is going to be able to use that on their skin. It's not really going to show up. It's just going to look really ashy on their skin. Same with Gryffindor. Like the skin tone looking eyeshadow color, like nobody is going to be able to use that. It's not going to show up very well. I'm very pasty pale, and you can't even tell that like I put it on because it just like meshes with the rest of my skin. Like there's just some things that I wish that they would have done a little bit differently to make some of these palettes just a little bit more like it's not just going to be nothing on your eye. Overall, it's a really cute collection. Again, it retails for about $45.96 on Shein.com, and you can also purchase it from Sheglam. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for staying tuned to the end of this video. If you want to see more content like this, if you want more of me, then hit the subscribe button, and I hope I get to see you in my next video. Bye!